Let's go. It's Saturday Night Loud exclusively on Power 106, man.
Yeah.
Charisma, Wavy, we checked in. And we got one of the hottest new names going around right now in the West Coast right now, going crazy. Jayson Cash in the building. What's up?
Carson in the house.
Yes, sir.
Carson. What high school you go to, man?
I graduated from Carson High, but before I went to Carson, I went to Lawndale High too.
Lawndale. I remember those basketball games at Lawndale.
Yeah, me too.
Did you play sports at either?
Man, anybody I went to Lawndale would be crying if I said I was on a football team and I broke my wrist. Just in practice, you know what I mean? Like
in football and back, I feel like back in what year did you graduate? Before I go into that,
I graduated back then.
Okay, well, I mean, it was a certain time.
I don't want nobody trying to look at my yearbook.
Yeah,
you know,
football and like in high school sport, it was big around that time. So you know,
yeah.
you used to be on.
But yeah, like I wasn't really like I never really like was super into it. I used to play like basketball, going to like 24 and stuff like that, or playing with friends. But I was never really like great at sports. Like my thing was always music.
Music since a young
like,
age,
always,
huh?
for sure. Like I grew up in the church, so like my grandparents being preachers, like messing with the drums, messing around with keys and different stuff like that. Like that was like what I was more into, music.
Were you at that time growing up in the church? Was it like I don't want to be going in here staying all day? Because you know,
bro, hell yeah, bro. Look, it's crazy because until like music, I never done anything on like New Year's. Like we spent New Year's Eve like at church. Like it was called watch meeting. So we went into the New Year at church. But last year, like this year I just passed, I was performing. The year before that, I was at the Novo performing too. And it was like those were like the first two times like I wasn't like I actually did something. Cause I mean like I've been out of church for a long time, but it just kind of stuck with me not really doing nothing. You know,
we all get our roots from it. It's funny. I started my DJing in church. I used to DJ for the youth.
See,
let's go.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. Like a lot of people say, like I think Mars said it. Like my guy Mars, that like church is like your first stage. Like for a lot of people, they force you to be. Man, I'm talking about they force me to be in the junior choir. They don't care if you can sing or not. You gonna be in the junior choir for sure.
Sharpen them skills. I love it, man.
But it's like I'm thankful. Like when I got older, I asked my dad. I was like, man, like, why you let them force us to go to church like that? He was just like, man, there's worse places you could have been. I'm like, man, I appreciate that.
Did you play instruments or like in the church, or were you just like?
Yeah, it was a point in time I was playing the drums, but my brother played the piano for the church or whatever. A lot of times, like getting picked up from school, like my grandpa, he had a food ministry at his church, and like his church was in Lawndale, so like every they tore the church down and it became like an elementary school. I think it's called like Lucille Smith or something like that. But it used to be the church on like 147th. But every day, like he had a food ministry where he was feeding the community. He had like people that were doing their community service there, like putting the boxes together. So while he was doing that, we was getting picked up from school and getting watched by Bishop at the church. So it'd be like, I jump on the drums. My brother, he could play piano like for real, like since young. And he'll play the piano while I played the drums, and then he'll teach me how to do whatever he was doing on the piano, so I'll play it so he could play the drums. And then my cousin would be singing, and we was all just like, like we was all just doing that, and we could just hear my grandpa yelling from outside, "Get off them drums!" you know. But like that was like my childhood for real. So
hey,
like,
it paid off, Grandpa. Look, it paid off. It paid off because you are killing the game, man.
Appreciate that.
Being musically inclined, like you could spit. Like I don't know if people have checked out that you did a freestyle with the LA Lakers.
Right.
Be sure to go check that out.
Check
you
that
got
out.
bars, man.
Appreciate that.
Do you like to write? Do you prefer to freestyle? Like, what is when you get in the studio? What does Jayson Cash like to do?
I kind of go in the booth and I want to say line by line. It might be like 2 lines. It might be like 4 bars. I'll come in and I'll just keep doing it. I don't really like write the raps down, but it's still like writing, but it's just like
kind of like punch in.
Yeah, pretty much punching in.
For sure.
Like I'll have an idea and I'll I'll have a couple lines and I'll go in there and then I'll just continue to build on that idea.
Definitely got bars for days. I love it. You're such a West Coast flow. Like you just listen. Even if I didn't see you, just listening to your music, you give me the Cali vibe.
Yeah, sound like
palm
you look.
trees, like driving around, like feel good. You definitely represent that. You know, you born and raised in LA. Who are some of like the influences that you had growing up that you feel sharpened your style or like cater to your style?
Well, my favorite rapper is Sugar Free. And that's where I got
bullshitting.
Yeah, that's where I got my game from for sure. But like everybody, like Snoop, Corrupt, like of course, like I'm a child of the G-Funk era. Like, you know, he came up off Warren G and all that. But like then again, also like moving it cheer up. Kendrick, Q, Rock, you know what I mean? Pac Div, Overdose, like
Overdose.
Yeah,
okay.
Dom Kennedy, like I mean, even at the time, like Casey Veggies, like because
Yes.
even though like me and Casey Veggies like are in like the same like age bracket, it's like he was a young kid doing it. Like he was like the first fly young rapper I seen. Like he had the Supreme on, he had, you know what I mean?
He had his own clothing brand
Yeah,
popping
for
at
sure.
the time. Yeah,
So, like,
he came out hot.
And, like,
yeah,
really
like
rapping too.
Yeah, like so like that whole time period like was just crazy for sure.
Definitely.
For sure. But definitely for sure like Kendrick, Dom, like I was super like on that Nip, of course.
Yeah,
you know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying?
R.I.P. Nip.
Yeah.
We were actually all together on New Year's Eve, and I saw you giving Bow Wow his flowers.
Oh
That was
yeah, that's
dope.
the reason I started rapping. For
That's
sure.
crazy.
That's crazy.
For sure. Like
Was that the first time you got to meet him, or?
man, you know what's crazy? That's the first time I got to meet him as me. But for real, because I seen
some
him
real-
before.
that's real.
Like my bro, Major Mizer, a dope singer and writer. He's on like songs like of mine, like Been in My Bag and etc. But Major was writing for Usher at the time, and so he started bringing me to the sessions. So like we did a couple sessions. This is like 2018 maybe. Man, one night like we chilling and Usher called Major like, "What you doing tonight? We about to go here or whatever." I'm like, damn, like this is Usher. And bro, like he like slide with us. I'm like, bro, let him know you got somebody with you. Let him know,
Yeah.
like
You gotta do
like
that.
let him know. He like, yeah, I'm gonna let him know. I'm like, no, let him know it's me, like the one from the studio, because at the time I hadn't wrote anything that he took or whatever yet. Like I didn't get to do that till after the fact. But anyways, we end up going to like Poppy, and it was YG's birthday party, and I remember the time because YG premiered Go Loco in the club. You know what I mean? It was before it came out or whatever. So anyway, in the club with Usher, I'm tripping like, damn, we in the club with Usher, but he runs into Jermaine Dupri. So when he runs into Jermaine Dupri, like he tells Usher to come somewhere or whatever. So we end up at some hookah lounge. I forgot what it's called, but we end up at this hookah lounge and we walk upstairs. There's a room. The room is just full of chicks, right?
Okay.
And it's
Young
like
Shad.
I see is Bow Wow in there and Trey Songz, Usher, us, and then just a room full of people. And I'm tripping. I'm like, damn, that's Bow Wow. But he already lit. He, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got to say what's up, but I'm just one of the extra niggas that was walking in with
Yeah,
Usher. Like,
right.
you know, I wasn't, you know.
Yeah,
So,
you got to give Bow his credit. Like, the
Yeah.
dude had bars at like 8 years old, like
Right.
crazy bars.
So when I seen him that day,
Good.
it's so funny. I'm gonna tell the story. I didn't tell nobody how this happened.
Okay.
What ended up happening though, I was performing next door and he was at ballet. So we're leaving. It's no service inside, and we're trying to call a truck, and it's just taking forever. So we outside trying to get the service right. We went back in, waited like 30 minutes. We was ready to go. Come back out. As we come back out, thinking our car's there, it's not. I just see Bow Wow walking out the club. I'm like, oh, that's Bow Wow, right? And it's raining and shit. What's so funny though is he's walking to the car. I'm like, fuck that. I'll push up on him. I'm like, yo. He is ignoring the shit out of me. Like he's just walking. But I get it. Like he's tunnel vision. He getting to the
Right.
he's
He
getting
was
to
a
the
little
shit.
lit that night. It was a
Right.
good New Year's.
Right.
We had
So
a
he
good New
walking,
Year's.
he walking. I'm like, yo. He like, as he get to the car, like the homies is laughing that I followed this dude. But like as he get to the car, I'm like, yo, I'm Jayson Cash. He stopped, turns and look at me. He go, yo, like, bro, you're crazy. Like, dude, you crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and we just chopping it up. Just before like we even pulled the camera out, like we just chopping it up. And the guy that was doing security with him, like, I used to see all the time working out at the Carson 24-hour fitness. So like it dawns on him like, oh damn, I know this dude too. And then we just start chopping it. But it's like I literally pushed up on bro, and he was literally about to keep it pushing. I said my name. And
that
then
takes
he
a
stopped.
lot. That takes a lot because artists, certain artists, that's they'll act a little funny. You know
Fuck
what
all
I mean?
that.
You know
I
how
just
that
was
is.
like, man, like
That's Bow.
this the
Come
reason
on.
I started rapping for
Yeah.
real. Like there was a
Straight up.
girl I liked in school. She liked Bow Wow. I was like, man, if I could be a rapper like Bow Wow, she'd like me too. And that's why I started rapping for real. If I'm just keeping it 1,000.
Hey,
I
salute
heard
to
it.
that girl. Where's she at?
Yeah.
Salute to you.
Yeah,
Salute to you,
shout out to
mama. You
you.
missed out.
But yeah, so like it was just like I didn't even get to I didn't even think. My pride was just all the way to the side. I'm like, nah, I'm about to let bro. I don't know if I'm gonna see bro again. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna push up, and it's crazy because Fuzzy tried to make it happen. We was in Atlanta, like we in Magic City with Bow Wow boy Bart. Like he was just like, yeah, he not coming out tonight or whatever. But we been trying to reach out to bro for a minute, and he ended up giving me his number, and you know it was all good.
Look at you, man. I love it. Rocking with the legend.
Yeah, you got to politic, man. A lot of people scared to push up.
You got to scare. Next we get a feature going. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
for your next project.
Definitely got to do that. We got to do it.
Yo, and salute. Like you had a crazy 2022. Like you had a really good year. You dropped a lot of music. You were all over the place. All kinds of people just talking about you, buzzing. Yeah. Like you've been doing music for a while now. Right. Like how does it feel this year? And what do you see your momentum going? So what's the next play that we can look forward to?
Man, keeping this shit going. Like more music, like more moves. Like for example, like I mean every Friday dropping some shit.
Every Friday, huh?
It started off freestyles, and then I went from the freestyles to I was pulling up, press and play on people, and now it's like JFK from the Eastie Boys. If they're not familiar, he did Chosen, Mismatched for Bino, movie, all that shit, and of course all the shit on Read the Room. But now we been doing shit like certain songs. He playing on the piano, and I'm just rapping over this shit, like staying consistent. Friday, just keeping my face out there, people seeing me. And in the same breath, like, while the music is getting ready, while we shooting videos and mixing and all that type of shit getting ready, it's like continuing to work.
And I will say the production on Read the Room, to me, was phenomenal.
Appreciate it.
I was going to ask you, like, how important is that communication between you, your producer, engineer, whomever? Because a lot of artists, I feel like, even when they approach the DJs, the music is not all the way 100, which means like it's not mixed and mastered. It doesn't seem like there was time taken into the real sound quality, and that was something that stood out on your tape. So how important is that with the communication with you and your team? Like
very, very, very. Because like for example, the Eastie Boys, C-Styles, and JFK. JFK is also came up in the church too. So you know he's a church musician. Played the drums, played the piano. It's like there's a lot of different things that. Outside of just making beats, like we'll have conversations about, okay, it gotta sound like this, we need to feel like this. Like I remember when I first sent the full link of Read the Room to Fuzzy, he was like, yo man, you got this rim shot on like this many songs. I'm like, I know Fuzz, but that's the sound that's on right now. I'm like, the next one not gonna be like this, but I'm like, if people listen to music like a rolling playlist, like they'll just take one song and add it to their playlist or whatever. So I'm like, if these songs fit into what they're already listening to, it's like it kind of puts us in that world.
Absolutely.
Right. Yep. It puts you in that world. So it's like we're definitely mindful, but also did it in our own way. Like the elements of music, like one of my favorite shits is like for example, 3 a.m. It's like it's real musical. The song with me and Kaylin, there's a saxophone on there. There's different keys, different layers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that was like all intentional. We talking about that. We figuring out like, okay, how can we make this song sound more full? Like we want people to listen to it and it feels full. Like we even had this conversation in the studio the other day. I was just like, I don't want y'all to make a okay beat and then it makes it sound better because of how I rapped on it. Just like I don't want to do okay raps and it make my rap sound better because of the beat y'all made. Like I feel like y'all gotta be on point, I gotta be on point. So it's like if they love the beat and then they love what I'm doing, it's like, bro,
we mesh. It's like ridiculous.
We on point.
I love it. The new West Coast, man. We on that quality of sound. We're bringing it back, like you said, the G-Funk era. Bring it back to that real music. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Okay too. I love that record.
Thank you.
Who produced that one?
Eastie Boys.
Eastie Boys too. Hey, I love that record. Definitely.
Stay True was another one. Stood out. You said something, and correct me if I'm wrong. You said that's how I do shit. I know that I'm petty. Telling me I'm next. I'm
in here already. Yeah. I hate that next, because motherfuckers will tell everybody they next up. Like, man, somebody will tell you next up, and then you'll look, and they'll be like, this person next up, that person next up. Man, fuck, I'm not next up. I'm in this motherfucker right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when you say you next up to do what? Right. Like, to do what? You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like you an artist. You an artist that's been putting in the work, and I feel like I don't know the word. Like I attested so much to that line because it's like even with us, it's like sometimes people will approach you or hit us after a gig. Oh, you did this, you did that. And it's like, yo, like kind of respect the resume low key. You know what I'm saying? And I get how it's humble that how you're saying it.
Yeah,
you know
no, for real. And that's the part that, like, I think a lot of people might misconstrue, because even when I say that, I'm not even really so much talking to people. I'm actually talking to myself, because if I just keep taking on the idea of, oh, I'm next, it's like, what am I going to do right now? And then on top of that, it's like, you in this motherfucker, like, you're here. I have to remind myself I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't move in a certain way, people gonna treat me exactly how I move. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm not platinum. I know I'm not just selling out shows every night. But if I just walk like I don't got shit going on, they're gonna treat me like I don't have shit going on. Right. You know what I mean? I told the Eastie Boys out the other day, I'm like, bro, we gotta dress for the job we want, not the one we got. You know, I'm in the league, and I didn't come in the league LeBron James. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to, you know, like, sometimes you go from not being a starter to being a starter to, you know what I mean, to, you go through all that shit. Like, I didn't come in the league a superstar. Like, that just wasn't my route. However, it's like, at the end of the day, like, look at Kyle Kuzma. Like, just think about when he came to the Lakers and get traded. Like, bro, Kyle Kuzma is balling out of control. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, I'm okay working for mines, right? But it's like, I'm not next up to do the work. I'm doing the work now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm already successful in my mind. I pay my bills off music.
Hey.
You feel what I'm saying? So all that other shit is like, the stuff I came here to do, like, certain people that I wanted to meet or certain people that I wanted to have relationships or whatever, I'm checking certain things like that off my list. So at the end of the day, it's like, you have to stay hungry and you have to want more. Of course, I want the accolades. I want the platinum and gold records. I want to have songs that everybody knows and everybody can sing word for word, but I understand it's a process. So being mindful and real with myself of where I'm at, it's like, okay, I'm not that, but I'm this. So I'm going to do this shit at the highest level that I can. Yeah. Even if they're not talking about me or saying because of this song, they're still talking about me for everything else that I'm doing. That shit comes when it's time. Like, I understand that I'm on God's timing for real. Because literally, like, things is happening the way that they're supposed to. And sometimes it's hard to accept that because we human. So you want that, like, you know?
It's patience too, yeah.
Right. Sure. But that goes back to why I'm saying, like, you know, I know I'm petty, you know, because if you didn't fuck with me right now when you had the opportunity, when you double back, it's like, I have to tax you. Yeah. Dom said it, like, pay us now, pay me double. It's like, it's just, you know,
exactly.
Me out.
The price is officially going up.
Yeah.
Because you in here, because we're honored to have you. I was like, man, I got to get you in here.
Man, I'm thankful to be here for real.
Making so much noise.
You were like one of the first person to like really start playing my shit off the rip. And then it's like, even bro, it's like I was at Penthouse and it was like, he made sure like my song get played. Like, I'm like, oh damn, that's crazy. Like, and I didn't even, that was my first time meeting them. Yeah. So it's like tight to even sit with both of y'all, because a lot of people be thinking like, a lot of people be having it misconstrued because just because you're not on Front Street don't mean that you don't be getting support. Yeah. Like, for real. Like, like they've been talking about that. I've been seeing it all over social media, like a lot of different LA artists or whatever feeling like they have a lack of support. Like, support yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, help yourself. Nobody coming to save you. So if you doing the work and make it easier, like, if my car broke down,
go say hi to the DJs. Come on.
You feel me? Like, if my car broke down, right, and I just sat there, right, if I just sat in the car, like, just sitting there, nobody's thinking to come help me push this shit. But if somebody literally sees me outside my car trying to push this motherfucker,
stop and help
they're
you.
more inclined to try to help me push it.
Absolutely.
So all I'm doing right now is pushing my car, bro. Yeah. So it's like, everybody else, I'm not even saying this in a mean or disrespectful way, because it's like, you know, I think it's human to wish you had more support, because you know it would be easier that way. But in the same breath, it's like, support yourself, nigga.
Absolutely. Oh, come on, we support. Come say hi once in a while.
That part. Because I've noticed anytime I've been in a place where I've seen you at, it's like, I hear my song playing, it's gonna play. I hear somebody, you know, other people in LA play it happens. Yeah. But like, you gotta be outside. You gotta move
be
around.
outside a little bit.
And I think that's important. Like, you working with a West Coast legend like Fuzzy. What's a piece of advice he's giving you, or something that you know that you guys have, because that's big. Like, a lot of people don't know. You know what I'm saying? Fuzzy, that's for the West Coast is huge. You know what I'm saying? You being from Carson.
Yes, best
Compton,
piece of advice. Fuzzy's
what's the best piece?
What is it?
The best piece of advice that Fuzzy gave me, it ended up being my first project. Fuzzy told me to read the room. And when he said it to me, I was hot. For real. Because we were at a very, very, very like monumental person's crib, and I was playing music for them for the first time. Mm-hmm. And the first song I played, it was a song that I loved. I had just made, and he didn't really react to it. And Fuzzy was like, "Come on, man, read the room." That's what he told me. Yeah. He was like, "Play this next. Read the room." Right. Like, he literally said that to me. I'm like, man, I'm thinking to myself, why you didn't tell me to just play that shit first, right? But I needed that moment. I played it. Now, mind you, that's not the first song that I would play in another room, but in this specific room, it was the perfect song to play, because when I played it, he's probably had me start the song over maybe 2 or 3 times. He walked up, cut the shit all the way up and all that shit, and I'm like, damn, like, gotta read the room, and it stuck with me. But that was like maybe a year before my project, before I was even working on any of the songs that was on Read the Room. I was going a whole different direction, but it was like when I was thinking about what I was doing and the music we was making, I was just thinking about the space. Like, I was looking up different artists in LA, their monthly listeners, and, you know, hearing what's actually playing in the streets. I started thinking, I'm like, damn, you got to pay attention to what's going on. That phrase came back, like, read the room. And that's how my project became Read the Room. So he's giving me a bunch of different advice, but that's probably the most, like, it's tatted on me.
That's big.
See, it's crucial. You know, you got to have the right team, because a lot of artists, sometimes you'll get stuck in the creative mindset, and sometimes you just need that right person to tell you this, and takes you out of that element for a minute, takes you back, and got to have the right team around you.
Yeah, because you don't know everything. Like, the person that we're playing music for is somebody that he's known for years. You feel me? This is my first time meeting this guy, so I want to do what I want to do, because it's what I like and it's what I want you to hear. But it's like, of course, he knows this person and how they react to things better than I do.
The keys.
So and you see that it actually came out, you know,
for sure.
That's what's up.
Then I played another song after that. And then he told me 2 songs to play. I played another song after that, and then the dude like start talking to me about the song and all that shit. I'm like,
it's a difference. You can tell in it,
But that's why we able to move around like we doing right now, like without having like a buzzing single that's just playing everywhere. It's like just me dropping a project where I read the room. Like, I incorporated everybody that's in LA that not only that I know but that have motion, like Blaz, Kaylin, Dom is on 2 records, so you know what I'm saying. And the Eastie Boys already have the sound, because they're doing like, you know, a lot of the popular songs to begin with. It was like literally reading the room, working smarter, not harder.
From the production with them, it made me like just cringe the fact that we don't have a skating ring out here. You being from Carson, to be specific, this is you represent Carson. You know what I'm saying. It is a difference, and it's but your music is so diverse. We can hear it in the clubs, the radio, but like, honestly, I was listening to the tape. I'm like, damn, I want to throw some skates on and just, I want to hear this loud with the speakers bumping.
It's so crazy. Like, it's a song on the project called Might, and I was telling him, I'm like, man, if we shot a video for Might, I'm like, man, that's World on Wheels. Yes. That's Skate Depot. That's
all
that.
Vibe.
You know what I'm saying?
World on Wheels.
Come on.
Yeah, but nah, that's actually the vibe, because like I felt like I wanted to make music that you can play when we chilling. Have a couple ones that you could play in the spots like that, stuff that play at the barbecue. Because I was just thinking about the songs that I listened to, like 100%. The things that played while we were eating, while we was chilling, while we was drinking, when we was vibing. Like, I wanted to have that. Like, that's why I love Dom Kennedy music so much, because it's the soundtrack to a lot of like good times I had.
Now, you definitely represent the everyday Southern California sound. For someone who were to hear you in New York, just listening, your music completely gives that energy.
Like, I wanted to sound like where I'm from, because that's my influence.
Well, yes.
But in the same breath, it's like I didn't just grow up in rap. I grew up in music. So it's like, it's not that I just sound like that because that's all I can do. You know what I mean? Like, of course, you expand the palette. You have to reach different places, but I feel like when they say like the West Coast sound was like regional, it's kind of crazy to me. It's just because like gangster rap went all across the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, I feel like we could have that too. Like, there's more people that there's a lot of people that have songs that feel that way, that's current and, you know, and moves. It just has to be pushed the right way too.
100%.
You know? Like, if I just felt like if I was to stray from my influence, or it wouldn't even be natural. So yeah, everything can't be that. Like, my next project can't sound like Read the Room to be continued or whatever. But it's like, you know, you still gonna hear that in me, because even if I rapped on a beat that was completely different. It's the way we talk. You know what I mean? My slang, like the cadence and the way we speak, is like you gonna know where we from.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like
Straight
nobody say Joey Badass not supposed to sound like he from New York. Like when he talks or when he rap, like, you know what I mean?
And in specific lingo, like something to go back to one of the songs on Same. You said in the backyard we went body. As soon as I heard that, I'm just like, it took me back to childhood, squabbling up in the back, whether it was with our brothers or the
for
homies.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? But
slap boxing, going body.
Like, and not everybody will know that terminology in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that for the West Coast, it's like, you know.
And you know what's crazy
like
though? Because it's like, all right, when T Grizzly made First Day Out, right? He talking about so much shit we ain't never seen, streets we ain't never been on, and all that shit. It's like, why we can't do that too?
We
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You feel me? And I feel like it's crazy that you pull that out because that's natural for me to talk about that and be like, you know, like we did go body. It's people that's gonna hear that and be like, damn, we remember, like that's literally you just squaring up and y'all punching in the torso.
Right.
But I done seen a lot of fights happen because somebody actually get hit in the face or whatever. But you know, it's a lot of culture in it. You know, and I don't know. I just be trying to give my my take on the way that I grew up because I'm not a gangbanger and I didn't grow up that way. I always worked a job, you know what I mean? Even on songs where you hear me talking about relationship shit, like I've been, you know what I mean? I've been through shit. I've been hurt. I've hurt people. I've been, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just try to get a perspective is like, just, you know, like I'm a everyday dude. Like I always worked a job until I didn't have to work a job. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a lot of people that can relate to that and as well as be inspired by that because, you know, my last job before I signed a record deal was TSA. And I was like, you know.
LAX TSA?
Yeah, I started at John Wayne and then I transferred to LAX.
Oh, Orange County John Wayne?
Yep. But it'd be like, I'll be on live. You know, you said what?
Using Delta, right?
At TSA? At LAX? Yeah. I was on Terminal 2, for sure. I went from there to T4. I was at Delta and American. But, like, what's crazy is, like, you know, like, being on live or seeing somebody like, yo, I used to work with you at there. And, like, man, it's good to see what you're doing. Or, like, traveling out of town to perform somewhere and then seeing an old coworker or, like, you know, it's inspiring to them. But it's encouraging to me because it's a reminder that, like, man, like, even though you're not exactly where you want to be, like, you're definitely moving in the right direction. It's just a process.
I love it. Look at you now.
For
and
sure.
thank God you missed all that crazy TSA drama that's been going on lately.
Man, for real.
Definitely. On your new stuff that you're working with, I know you say you want to grow eventually in your sound and all that good stuff. Who are some like out of town producers that you would love to work with? Is there anyone like, man, I would love to get on one of their beats? I would go crazy.
I'm trying to think, like, out of town. Like, I like Go Grizz, Turbo, Jetson. Trying to think, who else? Where's Bankroll got it from? Are they from out here?
South.
The South. Bankroll Fresh?
No,
Or Bankroll got them?
Yeah, they did they did scoring for like Kaylin and shit. Are they from out here? I don't know, but that's somebody I want to work with. But yeah, it's a few different people like, but it's crazy because I mostly really work with the Eastie Boys.
Yeah.
Like,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
you know
like,
what I mean?
I do fuck with other people too, but for the most part, like I work with the Eastie Boys. But that's because we in the studio together.
Right.
And I don't be like, I don't write raps and shit. Like I said, I don't be writing raps. So I don't be working on music at home. Like I'm more like at the studio with it. But
do you have a favorite studio to record in, like out here in Carson or even like?
Man, it's crazy because like I've only really like worked at like the Atlantic studios since getting. Since being signed to Atlantic, working at Trap Atlantic, and other than that, like I think we stepped out one time. We went to Encore. That was probably like it.
Cause you know sometimes people go to other cities and they're like, oh, I like to record in Atlanta. Or I like to record.
Oh well, yeah. Like in Atlanta, I like damn, what studio is that? Well, I like working at Drama and them shit.
Oh yeah, Generation
Now. I like working at they shit. That shit is for sure. But before all that, I was working at, shout out to the Red Room in Hawthorne, Drop Top Scott.
Okay.
All you upcoming artists that if you feel like you need a space where it's not super expensive or whatever, but you can still get that quality. Definitely the Red Room in Hawthorne, like that's where I was recording at before I signed my deal and all that. Sure. So shout out to them. I was also recording at like Neighborhood Watch and shit like that, but yeah, like those were like some of the places I frequent. I haven't recorded at a bunch of different studios. Well, not for my own stuff. Right. Like I've been to a bunch of different studios, but for the most part, for my own shit, like Read the Room was all recorded at Trap Atlantic except for Top Down. Like that was recorded somewhere else, but for the most part, everything has been recorded at Atlantic.
Definitely, man. Hopefully we get to catch you live soon too. The fans, the people.
Yeah.
Like, do you got anything big coming up that people can come see you, or
Man,
just stay tapped in? Or
yeah, we working on it. Cause like when I dropped Read the Room, I did the show at the Roxy. It was like the release party, but it ended up being like a show. So I haven't been able to circle back and perform the other songs that have been out now. That people, you know what I mean? But like I'm in the space of in between about to drop some more music and all that stuff too. So it's like I want to make sure. I feel like I still need to give like a proper Read the Room show, but I just want to do it the right way.
Definitely. Shout out to the Roxy, legendary.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get you at the Novo. I already could tell. Like,
yeah, those are steps, man. Those are steps, man. Those are the steps.
Sure.
Because when I didn't even know we were gonna do the Roxy. Like I was trying to do I wanted to do the Peppermint Club. I wanted to go Peppermint Club, then work up to the Roxy, then get to the Novo. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to take the steps, but we end up doing the Roxy for the release. However, like I still feel like I still want to do the Peppermint Club. Still like just checking the list for myself, and I also want to do the Roxy again, but like not as a release show, but like really like for sale. Like you put this out for, you know what I mean, where we really see who pull up and really fuck with it, who really want to spend their money to see me. Sure.
Let's go. Yeah, bring it back. I would love it. I would love it if MTV would bring back like their Unplugged series. Like you would smash a set like that. I would love to see that.
For sure. Like that's definitely the vibes. Cause like even when we did the Read the Room release show, like JFK from the EC Boys up there on his keys. When we did Priority, I jumped on the keys and played Priority on the keys, and then went on to performing it. Like it was really like a vibe. So I can't wait to like do like the full band. Like every time I talk to JFK, like we talked earlier, he be like, shit, when we get that band, we gonna really like we gonna really turn it up. Like as soon as I get a chance to put a band together, like that's bro whole shit. Like again, him being a musician.
I love it.
So
elevating hip hop, you know?
Nah, hell yeah. I want to play my part, man. Like I feel like there's a lot of people in LA that's doing their thing. There's a lot of people that's like on the high end, middle, like the bottom that's working their way up, and I just feel like within that, like I just want to do my part to push it, because even if it's just shining light on me doing something like shining light for somebody else, or me pushing with the sound we pushing with might make it easier for somebody else to do theirs too. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's what it's about.
We need to get the Jayson Cash clothing brand too. I keep looking at his jacket over here. I'm loving his jacket right now. Yeah. Let's go.
It's like I always,
that clothing line going.
Yeah, man. We dropped it when Read the Room came out. We dropped my team In Crowd Only. We dropped the In Crowd Only collab with Pro Club, and we put it in Laced and the.
Is it still available, or is that
it's still
okay?
available.
Still available.
My website.
Shout out Lace, yeah.
Yeah, incrowdonly.com is available on there. Like we dropped the shirts, we dropped the shorts, we dropped the candles, we did you know what I mean? The Read the Room hats, like yeah, so definitely doing that. I never want to put my name on like the merch stuff. Like I never want to put like my name on it. Like this is a Dickies jacket, so like when I was doing the other Dickies jacket, I was always doing it like, you know, with the work patches. Yeah. So it was just like, I don't know, it was just natural for me to just put my name on it. But I would never, like, maybe one day, like, somebody that really, like, support me, I'll just give them my jacket or something like the stuff that I put my own name on. Yeah. But I don't ever want to, like, sell.
I would rock that for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I don't ever want to sell, like the team merch with my name on it, because it's not just about just me. You might see me first or know me first, but I don't want to just put my name on it.
That's different. I ain't heard nobody say that. That's for sure.
Yeah, growing brand. You can create multiple brands doing it that way for sure. We got Jayson Cash, Saturday Night Loud, Power 106.
Yeah.
Man, thank you. Thank you so much for coming up here.
Having me.
Thank you. Checking with us. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what 2023 is going to bring, because you had a great 2022.
Nah, you turning it up.
Salute to you, your team. You guys are moving right.
Appreciate that.
Excited. Let's go.
Thank you.